Hey, good morning. Today you can tell I don't have my YouTube face on, and you notice I haven't really been putting a lot of videos out lately. Uh, yeah, I've made this video a couple times before, but there's always a reason behind it. I think I've been doing this now for about, I want to say 8 months, going on 9, 10 months. I'm not sure, and I'm like most YouTubers when they start out. They got to learn how to balance their regular life, work life, their family life, and then they got a YouTube life, and it takes a lot of time. And a lot of people who start YouTube, they already have some knowledge of, say, video, or they know how to edit. I started this really just knowing nothing, and I'm the type of person that'll just go buy something and I'll learn how to use it. And I do that with everything. I jump right into things, and that's what I did with this. So my videos, they need a lot of improvement, and I know this. So I decided to, in the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks or so, my changes that I've made have been super positive. Not really just, in the past it was buying hardware, cameras, tripods, stuff like that when I could, and so I did make one hardware change so far. I'm using it right now. This is I bought the S9, and basically using it almost exclusively as my YouTube, I guess you could say camera, but it works with my Gear 360. So if anybody follows my YouTube account, or they follow my my Instagram, they'll notice I've been putting a lot of 360 pictures up, and I've been excited about that, and it's worked well. But the biggest changes I've made is I've started educating myself, and that's what you got to do. You can't just go into this. There's so much in YouTube. You watch these videos and you're like, I could do that. It's so easy. All you got to do is point the camera, and it's cut here, edit there. You edit, they're cheap, they're easy. No big deal. You upload it, whatever. There's a lot to this, and it's been a learning experience. It's been a humbling experience. The people who do it well and then by themselves, those people are gods in my eyes. That's a lot of work. And the other people that do it really well is a team. They have people behind the camera. They're using the Red Weapon $5,000, $10,000 camera. They have an editing team. They have script writers and whatever. I don't have that. I have me. Yeah, and I would love to meet somebody who's passionate like I am, and team up, but that's neither here nor there. But the changes I've made education wise, I started buying some books, and I've started reading, and Amazon's my friend. And the first one I bought, it was a book on it was just the premise of editing. It really didn't get into the details of really, just editing, the know-how, but what to edit, how to edit, what edit terms are, and it wasn't super informative, but I learned a lot from it. The second book I bought, that I've read all the way through, and it's probably one of my favorite books now, and it's called How to Make Videos That Don't Suck, and I think every YouTuber should be reading this book. It's written by a guy named Steve Stockman. He made the movie 2 Weeks, I think. Jodie Foster, I think, was in the movie. I want to say Jodie Foster. And I don't know how great of a director he is, but I went on Rotten Tomatoes. It was an 18 on it, but it was nominated for some awards. But the one thing as I'm reading the book, I found out there was a commercial he was talking about, and he was talking about how he edited the commercial and how he put it together, how he wrote it, and whatever. And he started describing the commercial, and I said, you know, my God, this sounds familiar. Not only is my hair was raising up on the back of my neck, and I said, I've seen this commercial. He described it being that it was an opera, and it was a husband and wife, and they were watching this opera, and then, ooh, you know, the typical fat lady singing and all that kind of good business, and they're in Viking outfits, and so he's bored, he yawns, and he gets nudged by the wife, and so he reaches into his jacket and he puts on his headphones, and kicks it on, and it's a, you know, it's ZZ Top, right? So he looks up and he looks at the screen, and it's here they are, the opera singers are going dun, dun, dun. They look like ZZ Top with the beards on, right? And I remember being a kid just giggling about it. And so then next it talks a little bit more about classic rock, and it pops back, and then now it's a Led Zeppelin song. They're like, and there's a wide down the road, you know, and it pops up, and they're all dressed like Led Zeppelin, and there's a big Zeppelin going across the sky with a Viking hanging on, and of course it's funny, and so it talks a little bit more, a few things about classic rock, and then the final one was the Who, and they're you know, just destroying the guitar and just destroying it. And he goes, and it's dun dun, right? And so then it pops back over to the guy. He stands up and he's got a lighter in his hand. He goes, yeah, yeah. And the wife is looking up at him and just goes, oh my God. And then it says, the only classic rock station. Well, that commercial he had made, I guess in California or somewhere. I don't remember. Some radio station. But I guess apparently they used it for a lot of classic rock stations, being that maybe they were under the same umbrella company. And I remember this commercial and I loved it. So it brought back a little nostalgia of the commercial. But anyway, it's taught me so much. It's opened my eyes to just the process of videoing. And right now I'm not using anything I learned. I'm a static shot, and I'm right at me, and I'm on a tripod, and I don't. But my videos, my ones from this point on, I'm going to start using my knowledge that I've learned. I have two more books that I have to read. I started one. I flipped through the pages a little bit in the beginning, and it says, all right, basically it's basically, all right, class, open up your Adobe CC editing program. And I'm like, what? I use Sony Vega, and so I look up the price on it, and of course you have to have a subscription. And when you get to the high end one, it's like basically about 80 bucks a month, and I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready for that bill. Maybe down the line, if something changes, it gets better, and I get better, and I change up what I'm doing. Yeah, I'll go to a better one, but it works good with what I'm doing. So probably still end up reading the book and learning the knowledge, which any knowledge will help. But I'll probably be searching on another editing book to help me with my editing, because editing is super important. Just like getting good video is important, and editing is just as important. You can have great video, you go to edit it, and you edit it crap, and it's going to be a crap video. You have crap stuff and you try to edit it good, you could maybe change it up and you can make it decent. Editing is super important. So I'm going to find another one. The third one is, and it's perfect for me, it's YouTube, how to YouTube for YouTube for dummies. All right, and that's right up my alley. So I'm only on a couple pages of that, but later on, I usually, when I come home and I don't have time to mess with the cameras or anything like that, I usually jump right into a book if I'm not watching YouTube videos and trying to learn something from there. And then there's one more thing, and I've seen it 100 times, and I don't know why I haven't done it, but they have YouTube has a whole creators channel, which has like a YouTube University type thing, and they have some of the best YouTubers that teach you how to get new viewers, how to this, how to that. And so I got into a little bit last night when we went to dinner, but yeah, I'm gonna start watching those when I'm bored on YouTube instead of just watching random videos of my favorite YouTubers. But that's what's going on. That's why I haven't really been doing too much. I've been going through my stuff on my phone and my 360 cameras and getting rid of what's in there, using what's usable and deleting what's not. And then I have a pile of video sitting on my computer right now, and when the time comes to edit, which is real shortly here, I'm going to start editing those. Knock out the bad stuff, keep the good stuff, keep it interesting. And then from that point, at this point on, when I video, then I'm going to use what I learn. So anyway, thanks for your patience. Thanks for being my subscriber. As always, I'll catch you on the flip side.